Guys, thank you for tuning in to episode 12 of Mike on to Mike, the Michael Lambert Show. So today I'm going to cover a few things. Psychology things, psychological, trauma, and just stuff about humanity. And I got a few stories. And, and, just stop repeating yourself. At least there's no dead silence, dead space. Anyways, I like talking about quantum physics, science, art, as Neil deGrasse said, we know more about outer space than we know about the ocean, and we only know 3% of everything. And he's like, I don't even know where 3% comes from. Like, we know nothing. So anyone arrogant, realize that. Anyways, before we get into the show, please take a moment to hear from our sponsor, and let's get going. Okay, guys, so today I'm going to talk about two main things. First, I'm going to start off, I've been rebuilding myself in my life again. So over the last few months, I got my electric guitar. I can pick that thing up like it's a bike. You never stop knowing how to ride the music. And I got a bass. I got another ukulele, and yeah, I got the whole 9 yards for all the music I like doing. And anyways, let's focus on the bass guitar for a second, because I haven't had a bass guitar since I was like 17. And anyways, maybe even 16. But anyways, I'm 31 now. 16, 31, that's half my life ago. I still pick that thing up because, I've studied music theory consistently through the years. But here's a psychological thing, because I've been through a lot of stuff. You've heard my other episodes. So, way back in late high school, I was probably a junior, late junior, and I used to play bass guitar at church, Presbyterian. I liked it because I could be there and not be focused on, because that gives me a little bit of anxiety, being the front man and stuff. At least on stage, I'd rather be over there. And guitar is a lot easier to mess up on. But everything I've learned about music is on guitar, so I guess I could do pretty decent, especially if we're just doing power chords. But anyways, so when I was like 17, I used to play bass at church. And back then, my dad had a drug problem. And anyways, he took that and my acoustic guitar, like, this is mine now. I even put a lock on my door because he kept pawning stuff. I even put a lock on my door because my grandma raised me. I lived at her place. He lived at her place too, at 40-something years old. But he's like, this, like, everything I had, this is mine now. So, that was pretty embarrassing. Way to break down the mind, Anyways, so he pawned it. He got his beers. He got his coke, whatever drug he was doing that day. And yeah, so anyways, I finally have a bass again. So it's kind of like I'm 31, finally where I should have been when I was 21. At least all that negativity stuff is not in my life anymore. But it really affects you. Like, I was talking to one family member. My cousin's a coach. He likes sports. He likes either volleyball or soccer. And I was like, hey. Quite frankly, you guys will never understand me, because let's say him, or whatever your thing is that you like, let's say your parents have a drug problem and they just start taking your stuff. So then it takes you years. Soccer balls, you can get a cheap one for $20. Guitars are 100-ish for a cheap one. But anyways, let's say you just get like depressed. It's like you love this stuff, but you just get depressed and pissed off whenever you pick up a ball again. And it's like you're just trying to do things you like, but it stresses you out because of trauma. And I know what that's like. So, and it sucks. But it's like, what else are you gonna do? Like, I don't know, be realistic. It's Okay, well, for my realism, I guess I should just go find a nice Walmart to go live at for the rest of my life and figure out how to get money out of the people walking out the door, and so I can eat. Yeah, I guess that should be my realism, but no. So, anyways, the blessing in disguise is I'll never give up. The only downside is, 31, life expectancy, I'm halfway done with my life. Ish. Just under. But, yeah, still though, it's like, I'm finally at a spot where I can get my life going as I planned 10 years and more later. Oy. And you have some friends that, literally, I have one friend that has over $100 million. It's like, well, during my years, I worked hard, and then I lived outside. Because I got a lot of stories covering all that. So, we can dive into that. But I'm going to move on to the second part. So, this next part involves my girl and her family. So, anyways, part of the reason I'm doing this podcast is so, like, at least I have one person listening to me. Maybe more. It'd be nice. But, so I have someone that'll listen. Anyways. So, this isn't like last week, last month. This was last year at some point. So my girl said, and, I mean, she did rip off half my ear, too. She said, if you leave out of town for work, I'm gonna leave you. Just straight up. So I was like, okay, well, I don't want to lose you, so then fine, I won't. I'll turn down opportunities so we can be together. But a few weeks later, and a couple months later, so a couple weeks and a couple months, she goes out of town twice. It's like, really? So I was getting a little upset about this. Like, really? I'm not allowed to leave, and you can just get up and leave? Like, I'm not trying to control you. I'm not, like, that's fine that you can leave, but I'm not allowed to? That upsets me. So I was letting her know. Her brother was like, he's being narcissistic, and got a lot of his friends involved. And it's like, and was like, it sounds like you can't handle her seeing her brother. It's like, it's not about that. It's not about that at all. Jeez, it's a fact that she can go wherever she wants, to Cali, to Arizona, and I'm supposed to be just in the apartment. That's it. So it's like, I mean, I even read this meme just a little bit ago. So I have stuff on my mind and decided to do the podcast, and especially after I read it. Pay attention to a narcissist, because their accusations are confessions. So, anyways, yeah. So then I was like, anyways, about that situation when she was out of town. So I was telling her, I'm upset about this. How come you can leave and I can't? It's not the fact that you left. I support that, but why am I not allowed to? And personally, I like focusing on my projects. I like getting stuff done. But I don't like being controlled either. So, anyways, I was like, fine, I'll go out. I lived in an apartment complex at the time. I was like, I see some neighbors out the side by the tree. I'm going to go have a beer with them. And I was like, I'm going to hang out with them. Whatever to you guys. So they were talking mad shit. And, like, I was really getting pissed off, too. So I told him, I was like, good luck on your divorce. Because he's only, like, married this girl after 6 months of being with her. Like, no matter who you are, my opinion is that's way too soon. But I definitely just straight up said it. Because, like, you're talking shit about me. So I'm going to say something back. But even he plays it off like, oh, I'm the bad person these days. So, but some of you know what it's like. The brother doesn't like you, no matter what you do. Anyways, so what happened that night, I was hanging out with the neighbors. 4, like, 40-year-old, like, Mexican dudes. And, we were having a good time. And then there was, like, this Asian lady. And I thought, like, I did have a couple to drink, but I thought she was a teenager. And I was like, hey, you don't have to be, like, hanging out with these dudes. I can help get you out of here. This ain't right. Because I'm thinking she's a teenager. Later I found out she was as old as them. It was dark out. a couple beers, I don't know. But she did look really young. So I was like, what? So anyways, I get my ass beat that night by one of them for doing that. I mean, like, I was wrong that she was a teenager, because she was actually like 40-ish. So anyways, but I got my ass beat that night, kicked in the face, kicked in the gut, head slammed in the cement, all the 9 yards. And yeah, I remember laying on the ground and looking up at both dudes. There was 4 people, my 2 neighbors and 2 of their friends. Their 2 friends whipped out their knives, and they looked at each other like, are you ready? Are you ready? And I'm just laying on the ground, like, drunk and beat to shit. I can barely move. Like, I can't do anything. I'm just, like, looking up, like, I'm about to die. These good dudes are about to stab me for trying to help someone. Well, their point of view, I was cock blocking them, which I was, but I thought she was too young. Anyways, so my neighbor's like, he ran up, he's like, amigo, no. He actually couldn't even really speak English, but yeah, just like that. And so they didn't stab me. I don't even remember how we got inside that night, but let me ask a question real quick. What do narcissists do? They make everything about themselves. Or do I need to say a different word? The narcissism. But they make, the word I'm looking for, they make everything about themselves. So I get my ass beat out there, and I mean, that drama, that I'm upset that I was controlled earlier, continues on through the night and into the morning. Not while I was hanging out with them, but like the next day, him and his like brand new friend wife was like, he did that on purpose, blah 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 blah. And even like over a year later, he did that on purpose. It's like, really? I got my ass kicked and almost died. Like, none of that had to do with you. I was just trying to hang out with friends to make it fair, because we were kind of like friends, the neighbors. So yeah. I did want to rewind. The clock on this segment says 11:11, so let's make a wish. I'm also losing my train of thought. So thank you for listening, and be sure to check out the next episode. Have a wonderful night, guys. And remember, always, I love having guests. It helps to keep the flow going. We can actually get more intellectual than me just telling stories. So anyways, have a great night, guys.